My sister disappeared for 9 years after eloping, blocked me everywhere, and suddenly showed up at my door crying like nothing happened. So I told her we're strangers now. Posted by you substantial by 4881. Apologies in advance if this post seems disorganized. My head is still reeling from all this. 9 years ago, I was 18, then my older sister eloped with her then boyfriend. Our parents, we're an immigrant family, were vehemently opposed to her relationship. I remember me being okay with it personally. It wasn't my place. She eloped with her boyfriend and cut off all contact with us. My parents were besides themselves. I tried reaching out to her back then on different platforms but was blocked. I even reached out to her best friends and asked them if they could at least get me in touch with her. They said she didn't know where she lived now, but that she'd told them she was happy. She had also left her workplace. Eventually we all, me and my parents, came to like an unspoken agreement to pretend she was never here, and I blocked her everywhere too. I remember being extra particular to call regularly when I was in college because I was worried about their state of mind. We're now at a place where I can't remember the last time she crossed our minds. Yesterday my sister knocked on my apartment door. She cried and hugged me when she saw me. I hugged her back initially too. I wasn't really thinking at the time. She was just going on about how much I had changed, how much she'd missed me all these years. Eventually, I kind of remembered everything and asked her why she was here and who had given her my address. She said she had swore to them that she wouldn't tell. I asked her why didn't she call first, since whoever gave my address probably gave my number too. She said she just wanted to see me in person. I told her we'd gotten over her. Why was she here? She said her issue had only been with our parents, not me. I told her about how I'd been blocked too by her when she left. She told me she was sorry she'd hurt me, but she had wanted a fresh start. Told me I was an uncle to a nephew and a niece. They weren't there at the time, they were at their father's. They recently divorced. She acted surprised that I wouldn't know, said she'd told someone to tell our parents about them. Maybe it was hearing about the divorce that frustrated me more. Because if we were going to have gone through all this pain, at least she could have found lasting happiness. I just told her she was a stranger to me now. She said we could have lunch together. She wanted to know all about what I'd been up to. I told her it was best if we continued to have no contact. She didn't act like an older sister when I needed her to. And that we were no longer family. We'd mourned her already, and we were now strangers. She was tearful. She gave me her address and phone number and left. Last night, I spoke to my girlfriend about what had happened. She said she was still my sister, that I shouldn't have just turned her away. I told her she didn't know what we'd gone through in the days after she had eloped. But I still wanted to know. Here, Ada. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. What are your parents' thoughts? How do they feel about potential reconciliation? Op response. I haven't told them about this. I don't see the point. I guess they made their peace with her absence a while back. We all did. Commenter 2. What is it that you want to achieve? This is crucial to answering the question. Op response. I don't know. I really had internalized that I'd never see her again. I remember the hurt I had felt at the time. I don't want to lose my headspace, and I don't want to act like everything I went through was okay, that it shouldn't have any meaning or consequences. And of course I want her and her kids to be safe and happy too. Commenter 3. Did she even apologize? Or did she do the classic, it's such a long time ago, you should be over it by now move? If there's no sincerity, there's no trust that she won't ghost you again. She owes you a full and frank conversation about what happened, her actions, her motivations, and why she continued to block you. Without that, you really have nothing to work with. Good luck. Op response. She did apologize. She said she was sorry that she had cut me off, that she never meant for us to lose touch. Her beef was with our parents only. I brought up that she blocked me everywhere, and she was just sobbing and apologizing. I also remember me begging her best friends for info and them saying they had no idea, which I've always suspected was them lying because she asked them to. Commenter 4. Not the Ada. She broke all contact with you for nearly a decade. She treated you as if you were disposable. There is no relationship to salvage. She doesn't get to unilaterally decide to pick you up again just because it works for her. I'm guessing she's decided now's a good time because she's getting divorced and in essence needs something, time, attention, connection from you. Ask yourself, if she weren't getting divorced, would she have reached out? You need to figure out who shared your address with her. Op response. I hadn't thought of this, and I've been feeling sick thinking this might be true since I read this. That she wouldn't have ever reached out if she hadn't gotten divorced. Would have been fine without ever seeing me again. Although she didn't ask for anything material during our interaction, I guess. She wanted lunch. She thought after 9 years of almost forgetting I had a sister, it'd be okay with lunch. Update 4 days later. Hi, thanks a lot to everyone for the support in my post, and to those who reached out for support. I'd been emotionally drained almost after meeting my sister. Like I said, I had made my peace after a lot of hurt and futile hope that I would never see her again. She had my number, and I hadn't blocked the new number of hers. I thought about it and received advice to, but I just didn't. It slipped from my mind. She asked me on Tuesday how I was doing, and asked if we could meet on Wednesday. She really wanted me to meet her kids. I was really conflicted. I didn't want to oblige her, but I decided to say yes to at least meet them. I went to her apartment yesterday and met my niece and nephew. My niece had recently turned 9 and my nephew is 6. They're great kids and I really enjoyed seeing them. I remember feeling a certain way when my sister was introducing me and she told him that the way he's my niece's younger brother, similarly I'm her younger brother. We talked a bit and started talking about stories from us growing up. I hadn't and still haven't said everything's okay between us, but our stories and conversation went smoothly. I learned that after she eloped and got married, she had moved in with her husband into his place in a town a few hours away from us. That around 2019, they had moved to the city we were currently in. According to her, she didn't know all this time that I later moved here for work after college too. I told her about what I'd been up to all these years, my college, my job, my girlfriend, etc. After that, the kids were in their room, and my sister brought up us all doing something again over the weekend. I told her we weren't okay. She can't expect me to forget everything. She said she was sorry that her moving out had nothing to do with me, that she missed me. I was angry at the fact that she had no idea the pain I'd gone through both personally and then having to be the crutch for my parents' pain. I told her I didn't believe her that she would have been perfectly fine with never seeing me again if she hadn't gotten divorced. That I could have been dead, and she probably wouldn't have broken a sweat upon learning it since she was so blissed out from her domestic life. I know it was ugly. I've never said anything like this, but in that moment I just wanted her to feel some kind of hurt of the kind she'd given me. She broke down and said I can hate her if I want, but to just not hate her forever. There has to be a limit. I regretted saying what I said when I saw her crying, so I just sat next to her and asked about why they'd divorced. She told me that their life had been going all right the first few years. She said she'd even sent word through a mutual when the kids were born, which either the mutual messed up or my sister did because we never heard about it. She said when COVID happened her marriage became hell for her, that it had uncovered a side of her ex she never knew. He became abusive, had disdain for their son, revealed he used to record every single conversation of theirs, had convinced her she was crazy and a bad wife and mother, that she stuck with him because of the kids until she had enough, that a very good neighbor of theirs whom she had become friends with gave her a lot of support and even helped line her up with a job. During all this, she even blamed our parents for her sticking with the marriage for so long and for not reaching out. I told her they had literally pleaded with her not to do this. I was there. I was 18, not 8. She said they told her she was dead to them if she ran off with him, and so she blamed them for her not being able to leave him. I told her that was insane logic and she just didn't want to talk about them and asked me not to tell them about her. I said yet her relationship with them is her own. I also asked her who had given her my address. She begged me not to ask her that they hadn't given it easily. She'd had to swear secrecy and cry and convince them that I'd want to see my older sister, so I dropped it. We had tea and snacks after that. She asked me again if I wanted to do anything this weekend since she has the kids, or we could do something the weekend after just the two of us. I said I don't know. She was okay with that answer. She was tearful again when I was leaving. We hugged and I hugged the kids goodbye too. My mind has been a mess since then. I lashed out and everything, but also regret what I said, but then I also try to remember how I had felt back then and then get angry again. It feels so weird knowing that she's now 20 minutes away from me and we can visit whenever. I told my girlfriend about all this. She said she supports me no matter what, but in her opinion to consider the weekend plan with a cool mind. This got long, I apologize, but I've been trying to collect my own thoughts on this, and writing this just seemed to help. Thanks for the help.